Hi everyone, welcome back to unit testing series video number 2. In this video we are going to test input field. We will test input field with all type of scenario, on-chip event, UI rendering and with the use state. Alright, let's come to our code editor and start with the test case. Okay, so let's start with our first test case where you can see we are running our input box. Let's come to the VS Code. I've created one example test.txt file, and inside the example we are rendering this input field. Okay, so first of all, what we're going to do, we will check the input field is correctly rendering on DOM or not. So just write test that is come from Vitest and that accept two arguments. First is the name of the test case, that is we're going to give UI testing. You can give anything you want. Then second we have fader function. Inside this fader function we will write the logic for our test case. So first of all we need to render our input box. So input field and the pass all the argument that is required. First is type. So type is text placeholder. So placeholder will be type R, and on chain event. So on chain event is empty fader functions, and the third is value. Okay, so after that what we'll do, we'll call screen, that is come from text in library react screen. So we'll find this element, so you can use like placeholder, type and also anything uh, attributes to get this particular input field. But here we have also passing the data test ID. So we are going to use that data test ID. So get element by data and get element by text ID. Okay, so we have data test ID with name, input and type. So input, the type is text, so input text, and we pass this to the one variable called input field. You can get this element by placeholder as well, get by placeholder text. So just type this element value, and but we are going to use the test ID, and then we have expect method that is come from Vitest, and inside the expect we'll check screen. So we'll pass this input field, and then we'll check it's uh, to be in document and or not. So let's run this test case using npm Vitest. And the second thing, we are also going to test the placeholder attribute. So let's check this placeholder attribute by, so okay, our test case is passed. Now let's check this placeholder attribute as well. So expect input field uh, to have attribute, and the first is the attribute name, so that is placeholder, and second that is value. So it will check the placeholder with that value is present on. So we have type her value. So let's run the test case again, and you can see the test case passed. Let's try with the wrong value. So let's check it again. Okay, here you can see the test case is failed. Our second unit test case. So in the second unit test case, we are checking this on check event listener. So let's write uh, same test case again, and we change the name of test case, that is event test. Okay, so same again we are going to render same input field, and now we have one vi dot function. So vi dot function is used to mock any kind of function. So here we are going to mock this function. So let's pass this value to mock change variable, and now just pass this to the on change uh, attribute. So second step we need to do, again we are going to get this element by test ID, and here we are going to check. Here we are going to check our on change attribute on change event listener is working or not. How we will check? We will check using fire event. The fire event will be come from the testing library that is used to run any kind of event. So like on click change. So are going to use change event because we'll test the on change method. Okay, so first of all we have in the field length, so that is our input field. Second we have the target value and the value we are going to pass. So we are going to pass any kind of text value that is change. And okay, so after that what we'll do, we'll check our own mock function is called or not, because we have changed the value of our input field. So the mock change function will be need to be called one time. So let's check it by uh, expect method. Inside the expect we pass mock change and then to be called times 1. So let's run the test case again. So yes, the test case is working. Our input field value is changed one time. Okay, so now moving to the our third unit test case. Here we are going to test the use state with this input field. It's working properly or not. So what we are doing with this use state, we are just rendering our text that is come inside our input box. So let's test this use state. First copy the test case again, and here we need to render our example component because the use state is part of example component. Previously we were rendering input field because we are testing attributes and props with that field. So let's render example and remove this mock function and remove all the props because example component does not have any props. Okay, so now again we are going to get same input field. Now let's get it by placeholder. So let's check this by placeholder text. Okay, so the placeholder text is enter some value, enter some text. So let's get this element by placeholder. Okay, so now same thing we are going to do. We will change the value of input box, then test the current value it's rendering with the help of use state or not. So what we'll do, we'll change the value of input box, and again, we are going to check. What we're going to check? Expect screen. On the screen get by text, get by text method, and the text is current value, text is current value and change. Okay, so if the screen have this text, then it's mean the text that is coming from useState is perfectly working with this input field. So let's check. Okay, so I need to call to be in document method. So then it will be check the text is present on the document or not. So yes, the text is present. If I change anything inside this text, so let's check it the test case again. So you can see the test case is failed. So yes, our test case, our use state method is working with this input field correctly. Here we have covered all the scenario with the input box. Thanks for watching the video.